Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Transform Your Sunday, where we are just four coaches with one mission, and that is to transform your Sunday and hopefully yourself, and bring you good suggestions on how to do that. And I am here with three fellow amazing coaches. And so I'm going to kick it over to Juliet for her to introduce herself.
Hi everyone, I'm so happy to be here as usual every week. I'm Juliet, confident coach and artist, and my mission is to help successful women to get over the self-doubt and imposter syndrome through a little bit of art and a lot of coaching. Iris.
Thank you, Julia. This is amazing. Meeting with you guys every week is just incredible that we got to this point in our life. So my name is Abrije Santos, and I am a coach. I am a trauma relationship coach, and I help you, adult women, to overcome, to return to inner peace and self-love by overcoming the impacts of toxic relationship or any relationship that suck your energy, that relationship that leave you to feel lost and confused and you don't even know where you're coming or going. I am here to help you return to find that peace, that love that is you. So, Jennifer, so beautiful.
Oh, thank you, Iris. I love that. I too, I treasure our time together because it has transformed my life, and our whole mission is to help transform your life. I am Jennifer, owner of Oxygen. It's a mind and body coaching company, and I help women over 40 who are struggling to maintain healthy habits, create habits in under 5 minutes around strengthening their bodies, but also strengthening their minds so they walk through life feeling confident in both how they physically feel and mentally feel. Maggie.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad to be here with you guys. And I am Maggie Temez. I am the founder of Running Fox Living Food, a chef who has turned into life coaching for diabetics and people experiencing chronic illness so that you can manage and control your illnesses with more control, more confidence, more time in your meal plans without feeling stuck in bland or boring diets. And today I really wanted to talk about how we can navigate our family, the society expectations, and some of the traditional pressures that we feel during this holiday season, and how we can stay true to our health goals and lifestyle goals while dealing with all of these, being able to prioritize our well-being, even when those outside influences are really challenging, like maybe new habits or developing habits that you are trying to bring in. So, um, let me start with a question and I'll kick it over to Juliet. But like, what do you think are some of the challenges that you have faced and how you deal with those? Juliet.
I'm gonna say what challenges I'm gonna face the next Christmas. And I have no idea how I'm gonna do that. Yeah, I'm going back in France, so obviously I'm gonna see my parents. Obviously it's Christmas, so obviously there's gonna be a lot of food. And so I've got two issues. It's gonna be really good food, even better than the rest of the year because it's Christmas. And it's gonna be really, really not healthy. And it's gonna be really hard to say, oh no, sorry. I'm living in UK. I never eat that during all year. I'm gonna pass on this one. So yeah. So I have to say I'm not perfect, and this one is gonna be, yeah, it's gonna be a challenge that I don't think I'm gonna overcome this one. Yeah, I'm gonna say I think Iris was a little bit before.
Thank you. This is a challenge, and I can attest to uh, I know it wasn't a holiday, but it was a retreat, which is almost a holiday because people gather together and there's food and there's thing. And I'm a vegan. So a challenge when nothing that has been prepared is for someone that don't eat that type of food. So I found myself being questioned every second, what are you going to eat? I found myself, what about this? I found myself in the predicament of figuring it out how I was going to fit my body in a place that it was over 14 hours that we were there in the first day. So I felt my body solid, and and that's what happened when you create a new habit. That's what happened when you stay true to yourself, to what is important to you. So it is hard. It is hard, especially when the body gets hungry and something it needs to be fed with something. So Maggie, what an amazing topic, because the holidays are here, and ha, passing on the sweet and the chocolate and the thing. My God, what am I going to do? Jennifer.
I love this topic, and I agree with Iris and Juliet. So for me, what I do is I actually bring my salad for most of the holidays. That's a request. And I load the salad with, it's not just a salad. I mean, it is a hearty salad. So Iris, you would be able to just like live on this salad. But what I do is I bring it so that I know there's something there that I can eat. But getting to Juliet's point, the holidays is about tradition, it is about foods. And one thing I've known and learned over the years is I don't deprive myself of things. So if there is something that I like, I'm not going to take a big plate and just load my plate, but I will take a small piece of something, a small thing to try, because I do love and appreciate the time, effort, energy, and love that goes into the food prepping for the holidays. So I say, yes, eat your salad, honor your habits. I still work out, still maintain drinking water, but I also allow myself that connection to the holidays and to the appreciation of the foods that are in front of me. Maggie.
So I'll make this short, but I love that you said that because I feel the same way, right? Like absolutely denying yourself everything is not going to bring you joy over the holidays, and it can cause issues with other people, but it's more about doing more of. So like you're talking about still doing your workout routine, and I'm like, let's still do our workout routine, but maybe we can do an extra one. Maybe we can invite people instead of sitting at the table doing cards, which is my family's tradition after we eat. Maybe we can go for a walk. Or this year I have put together, it is a Southern game tradition. It's called cornhole, and it's a beanbag tossing game, but you can get some good energy into it and it gets you up and moving instead of sitting. And so like that's one of the things that I'm going to bring in. So you don't have to look at it as a denial. If you look at it as to what can I add that is going to help me stay true to my goals, a lot of times that can be more beneficial than what we can take away. I saw Iris's hand up.
And that is beautiful. And yes, I do. Like when it comes to really good cake or really good chocolate, I will indulge in it. However, I have to be careful because once I taste the goodness, I don't want to stop. So it's not even about not honoring the tradition. Because hello, but it's the fact that I know a tiny little piece is not going to do it for me. So I this is where mindfulness and honoring who I am and remembering to be in charge of my emotions, of how I feel pertaining to that. So it's not about the tradition, it's about me being able to stop.
I just want to piggyback on that because Iris mentioned emotion and we're talking about guilt. when we're eating, here's the one thing that I want for a takeaway energetically. When we're eating, making sure that you're actually enjoying it, taking the time and not having the guilt. Because if you're eating the bad, so you know you're not eating the best thing for your body, but if you're also then thinking and feeling guilty, you're adding this whole other energetic level of heaviness. So I say enjoy it, be mindful about it, but have the experience. When we have the guilt, that just does a whole other number on our minds and body connection. So have the piece of cake, whatever it is, be mindful. If you know yourself like Iris and you know you can't just have one bite, maybe you don't have it then. Just knowing yourself, trusting yourself, and enjoying yourself around the holidays is probably the biggest thing that I would recommend for people.
Love that. Juliet, were you going to say something?
Yeah, no, I agree with every one of you. I'm just really weak with food, with good food.
So
I
let me
just
ask
don't.
one more
I'm
question.
also, yeah, I think it's also when you have like specific events, like we're gonna go. We, sorry, gonna go back. I think it's more when you have specific also event we are not family, but you are in a place where you can't really choose.
Hmm.
Like even if a family, like if you have health issues or if you have really dietary kind of thing, I think most of the family, I mean, in France, most of the family gonna kind of arrange themselves so you can have something to eat every day. But when I think about UPW, for example, where you can't really choose because it's not like you can say, oh, I want this, I want that, and I don't have this, I don't have this, I don't have that. And then I think that way it's harder to always make the right choice. And I think at some point is just do what you can and don't
Yeah.
really be feel guilty of any kind. It's just when it's over, you learn what you can learn from those events. The food is what it is. And then you just go back home and try to really go back on track as fast as you can, and be really careful again. Maybe, like you said earlier, maybe a tiny extra careful for the first weeks or something, and then just go back to normal.
I love that. And I love that you brought up like a couple of different things that I heard in there. And this is one thing I want to touch on before we wrap up. But when you are going with family or you're going to be going out to eat or, different things, um, I would love to know if you have a tip that you would like to share when you're eating with family, you're going to be going out, how to approach the conversation to make sure that either the places that you're choosing to go have options that are available for you, or that some kind of accommodations can be made. Because sometimes it's a choice and sometimes it's not. If you have dietary restrictions, like needing things to be gluten-free, and we know how much the French love bread. Um, like what can we do in these instances? Or for me, like I can't digest. It's not a matter of preference. I cannot digest heavy meats. And so like going to places where that is the prevalent option can be really tricky for me. So I always make sure that when I am planning to spend time with people in holidays or in any situations, that I do let them know that, hey, like this is something that I am struggling with. This is something I have to keep in mind. And I know going to barbecue restaurants is not going to provide a lot of options that are going to work for what I can and cannot eat. And it has nothing to do with a preference. It literally has to do with what my body is able to take care of. So I see, Jen, what do you have to say on this subject?
I think for me, the biggest thing that I do is I carry snacks, and it used to be the big joke, but then until we went to Italy and everybody wanted my snacks because they were starving. So I always have nuts and celery and things. So if there is a moment that there's absolutely nothing I can eat, I know that I have snacks with me and that I will go and eat those snacks until there is something that I can eat. And that has been the biggest thing for me is just preparation, having those snacks readily available if and when I need them. Iris.
I just wanted to add to that because it's not just only what we can eat, it's also the pressure, the environment of those people that will judge you for your ways of what you have decided for your body. And it's having the mindset that you will have that you may encounter something like that. Be okay with it. You don't have to, if it's too much of energy friction, then decide that you don't need to listen to that and take another step away. Turn the other cheek.
I love that you said that, like, you can choose whether or not their opinion has any impact on you, because you do. You get the choice to decide whether or not their opinion of your choices even matters. And holding true to what you know is going to be best for you and making those decisions. So I know that this was not necessarily the most fun topic, but I feel like being in the middle of the holidays, we're sandwiched between two. We've got several more coming up. Having conversations like this, reinforcing for others that it is okay. It is absolutely important, even, to stand true to the choices that you know are going to allow you to be a healthier person, more vibrant, more energetic. So, does anybody have a last thought that they want to throw in? And we will wrap up. Go, Juliet.
Yeah, so one last thing I say is don't hesitate to talk about it. And
Yes.
don't, because it happened in my, like, I think it's one of my, it was with my grandparents, and they were in their 85, 90 years old at the time. My grandma spent 3 days preparing meals for everyone. And suddenly someone came without warning and just arrived during the meal and just went to the fridge and take our own salad. And to be really fair, in France, it's really rude. I mean, it would have been accepted if someone told them before and say, "I'm sorry, there's so many things I can't eat because for so many reasons. Who cares?" But don't do it. I would say really talk about it, because don't do it. It's really my grandma. I still see my grandma's face and my grandpa's face, and I'm like, what? What's going on? Because no one warned them. They didn't know there was something, and my grandma is during the war. I mean, they both went through the war, the World War II, and for them it's like one of the most important thing in the day, like preparing for everyone, make sure everyone is comfortable. And so I think it's a good thing, like you have like, I think it's really important that you follow your rules, but I think it's also really important to kind of say someone who's going to prepare something for you for maybe few days, to tell them, I'm really sorry, or maybe not sorry, but I got my own thing, and I know it's complicated because I got, between the gluten, if you're a vegan or something, it's not always easy for someone who is not used to that, to prepare something specifically for you. So I think it's, yeah.
I just want to jump in and say, because I love this, because having that conversation early, I think a lot of us can feel like it's uncomfortable, but really it's respectful. You show respect to other people when you have that conversation beforehand and come to a plan. Thank you so much for sharing that. I love it.
Beautiful. It's beautiful.
All right.
Yeah, it's about respect.
So with that, let's wrap up here today. Thank you guys so much for sharing all of your thoughts. I feel like we got some really great tips, really great shares in today. For you guys at home, If you have tips that we didn't cover or experiences that you want to share, we would love for you to drop them into the chat. Say hello, let us know what's happening in your life. And if there are anything that you would like to have us talk about in the future, a conversation, put that in the chat. So with that, thank you guys so much for
Thank
today.
you.
And we will see you
So
next week.
fun. Thank you,
Bye,
everyone.
everybody.